There's so much planning that goes into a Disney World vacation. Things like hotel reservations, park tickets, and dining are probably some of the first things that come to mind when getting ready to plan a trip. However, there's so much to consider beyond those things. Whether you're getting ready for your first ever trip to Disney or your 50th, we're sharing 10 planning tips you're not thinking of for your upcoming trip in today's video. Hey there everyone, Margot Jordan here, and welcome to All Ears TV. Planning is important when preparing for a Disney trip, and especially now since so much has changed since Disney World's reopening last summer. The tips I'm going to share with you today will be super helpful when getting ready for your next trip. So get ready to hear the 10 planning tips you're not thinking of for your upcoming Disney trip. Are you ready for some Disney planning knowledge? Well, get ready to learn. Number 1, as I just mentioned, a lot has changed in Disney World since the parks reopened last July. There are a handful of new guidelines and policies that are enforced throughout the parks that may be completely different than what you're used to when it comes to a Disney experience. One of the most significant changes is the requirement of face masks and social distancing. Face masks are required throughout the parks at all times, with the exception of eating and drinking while stationary and safely distanced from other guests, and while taking socially distanced photos outdoors. This is definitely an upheaval from what your past Disney experiences probably looked like. And when it comes to packing, this is something you're going to want to remember. When packing for your trip, make sure you've got plenty of face masks. I recommend packing a couple per person per day. This way, if a mask gets dirty, wet, or sweaty, you'll have another one on hand to change into. Beyond masks, it's also helpful to pack extra hand sanitizer, hand lotion, and wipes. Number 2. Although it's been nearly a year since Disney World reopened, many locations still remain closed. For example, several hotels have yet to welcome guests. In the upcoming months, we can expect the reopening of Disney's Wilderness Lodge, Disney's Beach Club Resort, and Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, but a handful of locations don't even have a reopening date yet. Among the closed resorts without reopening dates are Disney's All-Star Music, All-Star Sports, and Disney's Port Orleans Resorts. So if one of these resorts is your family's absolute favorite place to stay, or you always stop at Port Orleans French Quarter for Mickey beignets, then you may need to adjust your plans. Number 3, along with the resorts that remained closed, there are a fair few restaurants that are still closed as well. And surprisingly, some of these include some serious fan favorites, like Ohana at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, Columbia Harbor House in Magic Kingdom, and Boma at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. Beyond the restaurants that are still closed, some of the reopened restaurants may not even offer the same experiences that you've had in the past. Many locations are offering a limited menu or are open with very limited hours. You'll want to check restaurant menus before planning where to eat. This will help rein in expectations and avoid any disappointment if your all-time favorite dish is no longer available. Number 4, character dining is especially different as well. At places like Garden Grill, Chef Mickey's, and Topolino's Terrace, you'll still be able to see Mickey and friends during your meal. However, it's a totally different experience. You can wave and snap pics of the characters from afar, but you won't be able to have the fun, one-on-one character interactions that you once did. Number 5, something new that Disney World introduced when the parks reopened is a park pass reservation system. Guests must reserve which park they'd like to visit on a specific day, which helps Disney to limit the number of visitors in a park at one time. Availability varies from day to day depending on which park you're hoping to visit. During especially busy times like spring break or holiday weekends, certain parks can fill up quickly. We've seen all 4 parks get booked up to capacity. It's important to make your reservations in advance, and that way you won't risk missing out on your first pick. However, if the park you're hoping to visit is unavailable on the day you're planning to go, be sure to continuously check the reservation calendar. It's become commonplace for Disney to replenish park passes after certain days have filled up, so you may still have the chance to go. Just check back. Number 6. Park hopping is now back, but it's not as simple as it once was. Each day, park hopping begins at 2 p.m. However, to be able to park hop, you still have to make a park reservation for that day and visit the designated park before being able to hop to any others. Plus, entering a second park is only permitted if capacity allows. All of those changes are super important to keep in mind while planning, but it's also crucial to remember the 2 p.m. rush. Since park hopping begins at 2 p.m., you can expect most people to start moving towards the other parks pretty much all at the same time. If you wait until a little bit later in the day to park hop, then you can avoid some of those big rushes. Number 7. Getting around Disney World has changed a bit too. In order to uphold social distancing, transportation options like Disney's paid minivan service are currently unavailable. Additionally, you might have to wait a little bit longer for buses that take you from park to park because fewer guests are allowed to board at one time. When it comes to the monorail, there are some big changes too. While Disney's Polynesian Village Resort is under refurbishment, monorail service is not available from the hotel. And even though park hopping has returned, the Epcot monorail line is still out of service. So when you're thinking about how you'll actually make your way from point A to point B around the resort, you'll want to plan in advance. Make sure you know which options are available to you and account for the amount of time you'll need to get from place to place. Number 8. One of the most important tools for having a successful Disney World trip right now is, surprisingly, your phone. The My Disney Experience app is the place to find all the most important information that you need throughout the day. You'll find maps, park hours, wait times, and even a couple of unexpected features. We have a whole video dedicated to the things you didn't know you could do in the Disney World app. Another biggie in Disney World right now is the use of mobile order dining. In order to avoid large crowds of guests waiting in line to order food, restaurants are strongly recommending the use of mobile order. Within the My Disney Experience app, you can select the items you'd like to order, pay directly through the app, and select a window in which you'd like to pick up your meal. This makes mealtime quicker and more efficient, but sometimes the pickup windows can fill up in advance. Decide where you'd like to eat prior to mealtime, and this way you can avoid any unnecessarily long waits. Another dining feature you'll find in the app includes table service to go and the walk-up waitlist. Table service to go is basically exactly what it sounds like. Select table service restaurants allow you to order off their menus and take it to go. This is a great option if you don't have the time for a full sit-down meal or you weren't able to snag a reservation. Red service from Sanaa and the comfort of my hotel room? Yes, please! The walk-up waitlist is another great new option if you find yourself unable to score a dining reservation. In the app, you'll be able to search dining availability, and it will let you know which restaurants, if any, have availability for walk-up guests. This means you can dine there without a reservation. The system works similarly to a virtual queue and lets you know when the next table is ready. However, keep in mind that this isn't guaranteed and is only possible when availability allows. Number 9. The most impressive parts of Disney World entertainment is its nighttime shows. Since the parks reopened, nighttime spectaculars have been suspended. So you won't be able to end your night with happily ever after fireworks or a high energy show like Fantasmic. You also won't find any parades. However, there are some fun new cavalcades that occur sporadically throughout the day, which gives you a chance to see some of your favorite characters. Each park has its own character cavalcade, and there's something you'll definitely want to see. Number 10. Another thing to remember when preparing for your trip is that a lot of services have still not returned. We've yet to see the return of the Disney dining plan, so for now, guests have to pay for meals as they go rather than paying for a dining plan up front. FastPass Plus has also been temporarily suspended. FastPass is the service that allows guests to skip the line and enjoy a much shorter wait time for select attractions. Since the parks are operating at limited capacity, wait times aren't extraordinarily long in the standby lines. However, we still don't know when the service will resume. Extra magic hours, which allow resort guests to enjoy more time in the parks outside of their standard operational hours, have not returned either. However, later this year, early theme park entry will be introduced. This spin on extra magic hours allows resort guests to enter any park 30 minutes early each day. More details on this service are to come. So, whenever you're ready to plan your next Disney World trip, be sure to keep these tips in mind. What are some of your tried and true planning tips? Let us know in the comments. I'm Margot Jordan, and thanks so much for stopping by All Ears TV. See you next time.